In this video, we are going to be subtracting polynomials. Whenever we subtract polynomials, uh, we always going to be multiplying. See this negative? This negative is going to be multiplying all these signs. Okay, but first, let me bring this trinomial down. So we're going to rewrite negative 5x plus 8x to the second power minus 4. Now you see this negative? This negative is going to multiply all these signs. Okay, so multiplied negative times a negative, this is going to turn into positive 5x. Then negative times this negative is going to turn into positive 11x squared. And then this negative multiplies this negative. Negative times a negative turns into positive 2. Next, now we're going to be combining like terms. So I should be able to combine x squared with this other one, which is also x squared, because they have the same sign. We're going to add it up and keep the sign. So adding 8 plus 11, that should be 19x squared. Then we're going to combine x to the first power. If you don't see the exponent is going to be 1. So we should be able to combine positive 5x to the first power with negative 5x to the first power. Can you see that they have the same number, right? Negative 5, positive 5. Well, they cancel each other out. That is going to be 0. Okay? And then the last one, now we have negative 4 plus 2. They have different sign, subtract, and keep the sign of the biggest number. So that's how the answer is going to be negative 2. Okay? Now, don't combine positive 19x squared with negative 2. Okay? So this will be the answer. Okay, if you think that you can subtract, the answer will be no, because this one should have negative 2x to the second power. And because it doesn't have any variable, then you shouldn't be able to combine them. All right. Next, one more time, this negative is going to be multiplying all these signs. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this trinomial down. So I'm going to rewrite negative 2x squared. Then plus 6x. And then bring down the negative 4. Now, because we're subtracting and we have to get rid of these parentheses, then we have to multiply it. Negative times a positive. That's how you're going to get negative 5x. Then negative times this negative is going to be positive 4x squared. And then negative times this negative is going to turn into positive 3. Okay? Now that we finish multiplying to get rid of these parentheses, and we're going to be combining like terms. So I have x to the second power. Or what I'm doing is looking at the variable. Okay, x to the second power, and then we have another one that is x to the second power. Those are the only ones that I can combine for now. And look at the number. This is positive 4, this is negative 2. So they have different sign, subtract, and we're going to keep the sign of the biggest number. The sign is positive. So the answer should be positive 2x x squared. Okay. Then the next one, I'll be looking at x to the first power. If you don't see the exponent is going to be 1. So I should be able to combine then 6x with negative 5x. Okay. So if they have different sign, subtract, you get positive 1x. But number 1 is going to be multiplying x. 1 times x is going to be only x. The number is 1, but this number 1 is multiplying x. So that's how the answer is going to be positive x. You're just going to write the answer. Okay. The next one, for this one, we have two numbers without variables. That will be negative 4 plus 3. They have different sign, subtract, and keep the sign of the biggest number. The sign then should be negative. So the answer should be negative 1. Okay, that will be the answer. Okay, don't combine them. Okay, that's the reason why you have different exponents. And because they have different exponents, they are not equal. That's how this is going to be the answer. Okay, the next one, I'm going to bring down this trinomial. This will be 5x minus 2x squared minus 7. Now you see this negative? To get rid of this parenthesis, we're going to be multiplying. Negative times a negative turns into positive 5x squared. This negative multiply this negative. Negative times a negative turns into positive 8x. And then negative times this positive, the answer should be negative 11. And once you get rid of this parenthesis, now we're going to be combining like terms. Okay, so this one is x squared, that one is also x squared. Now we should be able to combine them. Can you see that this is negative 2 and this one is positive 5? They have different sign, subtract, and you're going to keep the sign of the biggest number. The biggest number is positive, so this will be positive 3x squared. Then we're going to combine x to the first power, okay? And then 8x to the first power. Because they have the same sign, both of them are positive, add it up and keep the sign. That's how you're going to get 13x. The next one, you have negative 7 and negative 11. Can you see that they have the same sign? Add it up and keep the sign. So that will be the answer. Okay. The last one, I'm going to bring this down. So I have 3x squared negative 7x plus 3. And you see this minus sign? It's going to multiply all of these signs inside the parentheses. To get rid of the parentheses, all what you do is multiply it. Negative times a positive, you get negative 8x. Negative times a positive, you get negative 4x squared. And then negative times a negative turns into positive 11. After you have uh, um, after you have all of this, then I'm going to combine like terms. So I'm looking at x squared and then x squared. Can you see that they have different sign? Subtract, you get negative 1 times x squared. You're going to get negative x squared. We don't write the 1, okay? Next, negative 7x and negative 8x. They have the same sign. add it up, and keep the sign. That's how you're gonna get negative 15x. And the last one, we're gonna be combining 3 with positive 11. They have the same sign, add it up, and keep the sign. That's how you're gonna get positive 14. Can you see that they have different exponents? So don't combine them. That would be the answer.